Glad to have you with us on this edition of NHK Newsline. I'm Raja Pradhan with the news from Tokyo. We begin in Washington, where the United States presidential inauguration ceremony is scheduled to begin soon. Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th president. Monday's ceremony was originally planned for outdoors. It'll instead take place inside the Capitol Rotunda due to cold and windy weather. On Sunday, the president-elect held a rally in the Capitol. Trump pledged to meet the expectations of his supporters. He vowed to bring about a profound shift from the administration of his predecessor, Joe Biden, including policies on illegal immigration, tariffs, and energy.
I think you'll figure out how to handle our economy and make it more resilient and make us more competitive in the world today.
Polls by CNN, Fox News, and others show public opinions on Trump closely split between favorable and unfavorable. He'll officially begin his second term as president at noon local time, as stipulated by the Constitution. China has executed 2 death row convicts responsible for recent indiscriminate attacks on civilians. The first was a man in his 60s who rammed his car into a crowd at a sports facility last November, killing 35 people. He was sentenced to death for endangering public safety. That same month, a knife-wielding man went on a rampage at a vocational school, killing 8. 17 more were injured. China's state-run Xinhua news agency says both men were executed Monday. The attacks were widely seen as a rebuke of China's economy and society. Chinese President Xi Jinping told authorities to be severe in their punishment in the name of social stability. The executions happened swiftly about 2 months after the incidents. It appears to be an attempt to dissuade potential copycat attacks. Next, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has once again refused to answer questions Monday after being arrested over the weekend. The president is being investigated on suspicion of orchestrating an insurrection. This comes after he suddenly declared martial law last month. The investigation team told Yoon he would be questioned Monday morning, but the president, who's in a detention center, refused. Sources close to the matter explained investigators could visit him in his cell, but they say it's more likely he would be forcibly brought to the anti-corruption agency for interrogation. Yoon appeared for questioning after being detained last Wednesday, but has since refused to say more. The Justice Ministry says he's being held in a one-person cell and agreed to have his headshot taken. The team plans to keep the president detained up to early February. The ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas appears to be holding, and both sides are moving forward on promises to release people from captivity. Israeli authorities released dozens of Palestinian prisoners after Hamas returned 3 Israeli hostages. The 3 women were handed over to Israeli troops in the Gaza Strip hours after the ceasefire began Sunday. Hamas is expected to gradually release a total of 33 hostages during the 6-week ceasefire period. Hundreds of Israelis watched footage of the women being set free at a square outside the defense headquarters in Tel Aviv.
I'm excited. I was so nervous just that they will come safe and alive to their mother's hands. They were in the hands of terrorists for 471 days. We must let all 97 hostages, now 94, come back home to their families.
Israel freed 90 Palestinians from prison in the early hours of Monday. The ceasefire began after a nearly 3-hour delay. Israel and Hamas are now expected to hold talks on reconstruction as well as a permanent truce. People in the Gaza Strip have begun emerging from shelters after months of bombardment. Many are returning to piles of rubble where their homes once stood, searching for anything that survived the damage.
The ceasefire is great, but everything was destroyed and is now in ruins.
The fighting is stopped and we are still alive. I'm grateful to God.
Now that fighting has paused, the flow of much-needed humanitarian aid is expected to resume. About 600 truckloads of food will reportedly be coming through the Rafah crossing every day. But over a year of fighting has taken an immense toll. Gaza health authorities put the number of people killed at more than 46,000.